It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the three films of February 23rd, 2007. And, 23, by the way, ties into one of our movies here, which stars Jim Carrey in a psychological thriller. Definitely outside of his norm, but we'll take a look at that one. We'll take a look at Reno 911 Miami, and we'll also take a look at The Astronaut Farmer. But let's talk about that movie with Jim Carrey in it, the biggest new release of the weekend, reuniting for the first time since Batman Forever. This is the number 23. So apparently 23 is all over the place, apparently. This is the Joel Schumacher's 23rd film. Like I said, it came out on February 23rd. Ooh, spooky. And it really is not. But Jim Carrey stars as a man who becomes obsessed with the 23 enigma once he starts reading about it in a strange book that seemingly mirrors his own life. And yeah, the movie really isn't that great overall. I mean, I'll give Jim Carrey his proper dues to go into this type of a movie and do something that's completely outside of his norm. You know, Jim Carrey's the goofy, funny guy, but, you know, when he gets dramatic, he can put some really good dramatic performances in there, but still have a little bit of that same old stick that we like to see from him. But in this film, he's trying to do something that is very much straightforward, a serious role, and, hey, more power to him. I just wish the movie was a whole lot better. I mean, this is a movie that is literally trying everything in its power to bring this number 23 into play, and they do this all throughout the movie. I mean, this has some of the most ridiculous, conspiracy theory type of things that we haven't seen since End of Days, when they tried to do the same thing with the 666 Mark of the Beast in 1999, and how does the one fit in the situation? It's just like, doesn't matter. It's 1999, 666. Just go with it. Like, that's literally what they're doing here, and yeah, it doesn't work at all. And like I said, I give Jim Carrey a lot of credit for really trying his best here overall. I mean, to do something outside of his norm and do something very completely different. And truth be told, he is the best thing about the movie, but everything else about it is just not good for whatsoever. It's a waste of time. It's not scary by any means necessary. It's not creepy by any means necessary. It wastes a lot of really good talent. Virginia Madsen's also in here. One of two movies she's actually in this weekend. Logan Lerman, who would later become Percy Jackson. Danny Houston. It just doesn't work overall. The story doesn't make any sense. The whole 23 enigma is it's forced in here on so many different levels, and it just doesn't work at all. It's a bad movie. Jim Carrey's trying his best, but even he can't save this sucker from bombing big time. And yeah, it didn't work for me, and it didn't work for a lot of people either. So this is one you can easily skip. So let's get to a good movie, probably the best movie overall that came out this weekend that nobody went to go see, unfortunately. Let's talk about Reno 911 Miami. Also known as the movie that should have made more the money that Epic movie made a month prior, but of course nobody went to go see the movie, unfortunately. But and I do say unfortunately because this is a really damn good movie. It's a really funny movie. It just works on so many levels, but there is one little caveat that does ding the film a little bit. But the story of this movie goes like this. Of course, the cops of the Reno Sheriff's Department are called in to save the day after a terrorist attack disrupts a national police convention in Miami Beach, where the rest of the police that are inside, part of the convention are all stuck inside the convention center, and so they basically have to take over their jobs in Miami. And it's pretty much straightforward, a feature-length version of the television series with more swearing and more nudity, because this is an R-rated movie, which, I mean, I'm more than okay with that. I mean, this does exactly what a big screen adaptation of a movie like this should do. Just don't be afraid to go as hard as you need to. Don't play it safe. You've got a movie where you can do whatever you want. It's an R-rated movie, and they take full advantage of it. And it really does work on so many levels. The comedy is top-notch. The jokes are absolutely hilarious. It is ridiculous. It is stupid. It is much funnier than anything you will ever get from a Police Academy movie. There is one notable flaw to the movie, and I think it's pretty obvious if you're not a fan of Reno 911, you really are not going to get the appreciation that you should get from a movie like this. This is a film made exclusively for the people who have seen Reno 911, have seen the comedy of the state, which of course these are Robert Ben-Garant and Thomas Lennon are part of the state crew. A lot of the people involved in here are, you got Carlos Alquazi, who of course is the voice of Rocco and many other voices on television. A lot of actors who went on to become stars in their own rights. Wendy McClellan-Covey, of course, went on to star in The Goldbergs. Niecy Nash was on The Rookie and a bunch of other shows. She was just on Grotesquerie. Cedric Yarborough, of course, went on to be on The Boondocks. There's cameos by Paul Rudd, Danny DeVito, Dwayne Johnson. I mean, the film does a very good job of working on all these people in here and making it really, really funny. But like I said, it's a movie made specifically for the people that love Reno 911 and are big fans of Reno 911. If you're not part of that clique, then chances are you're really not going to find the movie all that funny. I mean, you might, but this is a movie that really does need to be appreciated more by the people who love the show, are big fans of the show in general. And if you're a fan of the show, you're going to love the hell out of this movie. But if you're not, yeah, chances are you really are not going to enjoy this movie. But I'm a big fan of Reno 911, so yeah. This movie's my bread and butter. I thought it was great. I thought it was a good time overall. It was great seeing this on the big screen. Being one of the few people that actually got to see it on the big screen and had such a good time with it. It's a great movie, man. I really love it a lot. Really funny stuff. Reno 911 Miami. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our last film that we have here, which is Billy Bob Thornton as the astronaut farmer. Like I said, second movie with Virginia Madsen in theaters this weekend. Billy Bob Thornton stars as a Texas rancher who attempts to construct a rocket in his barn and launch himself into outer space. And it's one of those whimsical dramas out there. It's got the PG rating, so it's going to be something for the families to go out and see. But, I don't know. I mean, it's a movie that isn't bad per se, but it is very much a very whimsical movie, a movie that is trying so hard to be this family-friendly adventure for everyone to go out and see. But, I mean, there's nothing really about it that makes it stand out on its own. I mean, the performances overall are okay, but the story overall really is not that inventive whatsoever. The guy wants to make a spaceship out of his barn. Why? Just because he wants to go out into outer space. I mean, I wanted to do that when I was a kid, but of course I didn't spend most of my time doing that. I was a kid. I didn't have a job or responsibilities overall, but like I said, the movie isn't terrible. There's just nothing really about it that makes it stand out on its own, or something that has to be seen, or something that is really groundbreaking overall. It's just one of those films that it comes on a Saturday afternoon in the middle of the daytime. Not to mention, they raced a really good cast in here. Like I said, Virginia Madsen's in here. Max DeRoth, who was in The Pacifier a couple years ago. Bruce Willis, who has an uncredited appearance as a colonel in here. Bruce Dern, J.K. Simmons, Tim Blake Nelson. Some notable character actors like Julie White, Rick Overton. Jay Leno surprisingly has a bigger role in this movie than you would think. You see him in that commercial, but he's in the end credits too for some reason. He doesn't really have that big of a part, but much bigger than you probably would have expected for him in this movie. But I don't know. I mean, this didn't really work for me personally. I just thought it was just kind of mediocre at best. It's not that it's a bad movie, but there's just nothing there that really gives it that spark it needs to really show that it needed to exist and actually be something that should be seen by people. And I just don't see it here. I mean, some people might like it. I'm not one of those people. So yeah, not the best positive review for The Astronaut Farmer. Not a bad movie, but not a great movie either. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. Now, the next time we meet, we will start off the month of March with 3 big movies. A couple, and I mean really big movies, because we've got an ensemble star-studded comedy with Tim Allen, John Travolta, Martin Lawrence, and William H. Macy, Wild Hogs. David Fincher's latest film, Zodiac, features Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr. among the cast of that movie. Of course, it's a story about the Zodiac Killer. And Samuel L. Jackson, Christina Ricci, and Justin Timberlake star in Craig Brewer's follow-up to Hustle and Flow, Black Snake Moan. So we'll take a look at those 3 films. That'll be coming up on tomorrow's show. But until then, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page. Check out the previous episode. And also don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button, as well as that bell, because you get updates on when new videos come out, and we do post here every day. Now, with all that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time. And until then, as always, take care.